Can or should you maintain contact as an adult? Many people are unwilling to break up with or divorce their parents. They value family, want their children to have grandparents, still want to be connected to other extended family or siblings, or maintain hope after years of abuse that things might turn around. In some cases, parents become disabled or ill with age, and their adult children feel a sense of responsibility for them. Because of this desire to preserve the family relationship, many of those I interviewed reported a tendency to continue to uphold the old patterns simply to stay in the relationship. They may be independent and well put together adults in their regular lives, but around their parents, they feel ineffectual and powerless. They still find themselves taking disproportionate and distorted ownership for what happened while they were children. There were risks to maintaining these relationships, but also varied strategies for managing them. At the end of it all, as with all history, you cannot unring a bell, but you can think about it and behave differently. One story that stayed with me was that of a woman who had a brutally narcissistic and verbally abusive father. Throughout her childhood, he was prone to frequent and frightening rages, and he was cruel to her mother, who ultimately left him. Life went on. He lost most people. He no longer had a partner, and none of her siblings wanted anything to do with him. The woman I interviewed lived about an hour away from him. She said that he remained a difficult, critical, and cold, but ultimately sad and pitiful man. Approximately every 2 weeks, she went to see him. She would check on him and ensure that he had groceries and other basic items that he needed. She would privately set a timer on her phone when she arrived. She found that about 90 minutes was as long as she could last before he became toxic, and when the timer went off, she would leave before that happened. When asked why she kept going to see him, she admitted that they didn't really talk about anything. Sometimes they just sat next to each other and watched TV. She said, "He didn't deserve to see me. I could have walked away from him forever with no guilt. He hurt all of us. But I recognized that I did not go there for him. I went there for me. The person I am is empathetic. The person I am is kind. And I was not going to leave an old man with no one seeing him for the rest of his life. In trying to reject him, I was worried I would lose myself. And to retain my authenticity, I kept visiting him. But to retain my sanity, I would set an alarm to get out of there before it got too toxic. I could not spend the rest of my life being angry that he was an asshole, because then I would keep living in that resentment, and it would feel like he was still abusing me. I have no expectations from him to be caring or kind or respectful. I just don't want a sad old man to die alone. He doesn't really feel like a father." Her story stayed with me because it represented the hybrid that is possible for people if people can let go of their expectations, remain true to themselves, and find a middle ground that doesn't leave them feeling victimized on an ongoing basis. It's just one story. I heard just as many that involved people walking away from toxic parents forever, and they were thriving and happy because they no longer had to face those situations. And I heard many stories from people who just kept taking the abuse and felt helpless to change it. How to navigate a relationship with a narcissistic parent and protect yourself. Do not engage with a toxic parent except in the most superficial way. Stick to simple topics such as the weather, the gray rock strategy. Do not engage when the toxic parent triggers you, purposely or not. Accept that the parent will not change. Protect your own partner. You may continue to engage with your toxic parent, but your partner may not want to witness or experience your parent's behavior. Do not invite parents to significant events that you know they will ruin or make about themselves, like weddings, christenings, birthday parties, and holidays. And if you must invite them, assign someone to be their handler, to manage them so you don't need to. Engage in minimal contact. Minimize phone calls, physical contact, and text messaging. Remove toxic parents from your social media feeds. Does having a toxic parent affect your own parenting? Many people reported that the moment when they recognized that having toxic and narcissistic parents impacted their own parenting was chilling, and it wound up being a real call to arms. Everyone I interviewed was deeply committed to not repeating the errors of their parents. Nearly all of them talked about how important it was for them to be clear and honest with their children, and to never gaslight them or question their reality. In many cases, the history of having toxic parents made them vulnerable to poor relationship choices as adults. This subsequent impact on their own children, because those toxic partners became toxic parents, they committed to working on themselves and remaining aware of the impact their own poor relationship choices were having on their children. Some acknowledged having children as a way to be loved unconditionally, or finally create a functional relationship, while others noted that they did not have children because they did not feel as though they were up to the psychological challenge of being a parent, or that after a lifetime of taking care of a parent, they did not want to take on the responsibility of taking care of a child. I refuse to believe that having a narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic, or invalidating parent is a permanent destiny. I have worked directly with and observed people who endured these situations emerge with empathy and grace intact. Their adult struggles were more around self-doubt, second-guessing, and personal invalidation. I have also observed people who were crushed by these situations and found it nearly impossible to connect with their emotional worlds, other people, and a sense of safety in the world. They may even find themselves lashing out at others as their parents lashed out at them. Your own inborn temperament can have an impact on how well you weather this storm. Certain temperaments are more protective against the onslaught of abusive parents. Perhaps the simplest shift is in language.
If you keep watching this series and thinking, something here feels uncomfortably familiar, that is your discernment waking up. The next step is not another video. It is clarity. The Decision Audit Toxic Parent Edition can provide that clarity. This audit helps you decide whether to keep full contact, limit contact, or step back from a toxic parent, based on evidence, not guilt. You are not deciding how to treat them. You are deciding how much access they get to you. Download the Decision Audit Toxic Parent Edition today. Link in bio